Making the headlines tonight, the National Assembly President Heng Samrin encouraged the new Pakistani ambassador to Cambodia to enhance cooperation and promote trade, tourism, education, and culture to bring benefits to both nations as well as to contribute to regional and global peace and progress. Prime Minister Hun Sen reaffirms his candidacy for the post of Prime Minister for the upcoming 2023 election. Chris Rock's Wednesday show is in front of a sold-out crowd, with tickets going for well over $400 following the Oscar scandal. Australians remembered late cricket icon Shane Warne in a televised memorial service at his home stadium. And Shuttle in the Dark offers players a chance to play badminton in a futuristic space-like environment with a court that glows in the dark with accompanying luminescent equipment. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I am Dekanin. National Assembly President Heng Samrin encouraged the new Pakistani ambassador to Cambodia to enhance cooperation and promote trade, tourism, education, and culture with Cambodia to bring benefits to both nations as well as to contribute to regional and global peace and progress. EAC News reporter Sri Pokang has more details.
He made the remark while the new ambassador of Pakistan, Zahiruddin Baba Tahim, had a courtesy call this morning at the National Assembly. He said that the National Assembly of Cambodia and Pakistan have maintained good relations and cooperation with each other, especially in the field of parliamentary diplomacy, by supporting each other in regional and global interparliamentary forums. He also stated that the National Assembly of Cambodia has supported the Pakistani parliament as the vice president of the IPU and will be present at the AIPA General Assembly, which the Cambodian parliament will host at the end of 2022. The ambassador of Pakistan to Cambodia, Zahiruddin Baba Tahim, requested the president of the National Assembly to continue to have strengthened the parliamentary relation between the two countries to be stronger and more comprehensive. He stated that during this tenure as ambassador of Pakistan to Cambodia, he wanted to strengthen the relation between Cambodia and Pakistan, as the two countries have established diplomatic relations for more than 70 years. According to data from the OEC World, the trade volume between Cambodia and Pakistan in 2019 was more than $48 million, of which Cambodia exported only $1.2 million to Pakistan. Diplomatic relations between Cambodia and Pakistan began on 28 May 1952 and has lasted for 70 years. Pakistan has its embassy in Phnom Penh while Cambodia has an honorary consulate in Lahore, Pakistan. Sri Pokang, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen reaffirms his candidacy for the post of Prime Minister for the upcoming 2023 election, saying that the election of Hun Manet as the future Prime Minister for the political party will be in the future. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
The Prime Minister reaffirmed his candidacy at the inauguration ceremony of the Chom Chau flyover and tunnel this morning on the 31st of March 2022.
ឥឡូវហ្នឹងគណៈបកប្រជាជនជាគណៈបកសញ្ញាទេវតាអញ្ចឹងទេបន្តបោះឆ្នោតហើយខ្ញុំនៅបន្តសូមបញ្ជាក់ថាបេក្ខជននាយករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីសម្រាប់ការបោះឆ្នោតឆ្នាំ2023គឺហ៊ុនសែនទៅដែរហ៊ុនម៉ាណែតជាបេក្ខជនបន្តវេនណាតែត្រូវបានត្រៀមបំរុងទុកជារឿងធម្មតារបស់គណៈបកនយោបាយនីមួយៗគណៈបកណាគេរៀបចំអានឹងរឿងរបស់គេយើងគោរពការសម្រេចចិត្តរបស់ពួកគេប៉ុន្តែសូមឲ្យគេទទួលស្គាល់ការសម្រេចចិត្តរបស់គណៈបកប្រជាជនផងដែរព្រោះការបំរុងទុកសម្រាប់អ្នកចំនួនក្រោយគឺត្រូវតែត្រៀមរៀបចំបើមិនអញ្ចឹងវិបត្តិនឹងកើតឡើង
In 2023, Cambodia will hold the election of the 7th National Assembly, which will create a new parliament to vote and give confidence to the new government. Prime Minister Hun Sen has been the Prime Minister of Cambodia from 1985 to the present for 37 years and is one of the longest-serving Prime Ministers in the world. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia recalled the value of peace, which provided survival, development, and prosperity, as Cambodia valued peace before democracy and human rights. The Prime Minister gave the current situation in Ukraine as example for the value of peace. EAC News reporter Sri Pokang has the details.
Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of the Chamcha flyover in tunnel this morning, 31st March 2022, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that the world is now shouting for peace and defending peace more than ever due to the effect of the Russian-Ukraine war and the potential World War III. He added that in addition to the crisis of peace, Europe is also facing the problem of displacement of refugees and racism.
បើគ្មានសន្តិភាពកុំនិយាយដល់ការអភិវឌ្ឍហើយកុំនិយាយពីលទ្ធិប្រជាធិបតេយ្យនិងសិទ្ធិមនុស្សឥឡូវសូមទៅសួរនៅអ៊ុយក្រែនតើសិទ្ធិមនុស្សនៅកន្លែងណាយើងពិនិត្យមើលបើក្របបែកក្របផ្លោកកុមារនៅក្រោមដីអត់សាលារៀនអត់ទឹកស្អាតអត់ទឹកប្រើប្រាស់ចូលមកអឺរ៉ុបត្រូវគេរើសអើងទៀតណា
Prime Minister reaffirmed that he will continue to protect the peace that Cambodia has achieved so hard for the prosperity and peace of the people. Sripokong, EAC News.
At the inauguration ceremony of Chamcha flyover and tunnel this morning, 31st of March 2022, the Prime Minister said that the government should have a policy regarding oil storage in case of future crisis. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Prime Minister Hun Sen said that he wants the Ministry of Economy to be ready to have a policy to save oil, to be ready to prevent any risk arising from the oil price increase due to Russian-Ukraine war or future crisis. The war of Ukraine is now ongoing 5 weeks since Russia deployed a special operation to intensify 24th of 2022.
ឥឡូវយើងនៅតែស្តុកយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រដោយពឹងពាក់លើក្រុមហ៊ុនឯកជនដដែលក៏ប៉ុន្តែយើងត្រូវបង្កើននៅការស្តុកទុកនៅប្រេងឥន្ធនៈព្រោះឧទាហរណ៍ថាស្រាប់តែវ៉ារីអគ្គិសនីរបស់យើងឬក៏ម៉ាស៊ីនភ្លើងដើរដោយជូងថ្មរបស់យើងរត់វាមិនគ្រប់ដូចនៅឆ្នាំ2018អញ្ចឹងយើងក៏ត្រូវតែជំរុញការបញ្ឆេះម៉ាស៊ីនដែលដើរដោយប្រេងឥន្ធនៈ
The war of Ukraine is now ongoing for 5 weeks since Russia deployed a special operation to intensify of 24th of February 2022. After many negotiations, the latest negotiation in Turkey on the 29th of March yielded a positive result, and allegedly Russia is decreasing its military activities in the direction of Ukraine cities of Kyiv and Chernihiv, and to increase trust for the future negotiations. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, has ordered the Minister of Economy to speed up the increase of pensions for low-paid civil servants and veterans to a level similar to that of new retirees, especially those with salaries less than 1 million riel when they have already retired. EAC News reporter Sripokong has the details.
Speaking at the inauguration ceremony of the Chamcha flyover and subway on Thursday, 31st March 2022, Prime Minister stated that the pension for who are retired is less than the salary of civil servant who just retired, which the Prime Minister urged to solve this to ensure equality between the old and the new.
ឥឡូវខ្ញុំសូមចេញបញ្ជាខ្ញុំតាក់ទងជាមួយអាដាមអូនប៉ុននិរដ្ឋឲ្យពន្លឿននៃការលើកកម្រិតអ្នកដែលមានប្រាក់សោធននិវត្តន៍ទាបឲ្យកើនបានខ្ពស់បន្តិចពន្លឿនត្រឹមតែ2ឆ្នាំឬ3ឆ្នាំយកគោលដៅអានោះព្រោះអ្នកចូលមុនព្រោះវាខ្វះសមត្ថភាពដែរអ្នកចូលនិវត្តន៍ក្រោយសតប្រាក់ខែលើស1លានដល់លើ1លានដល់ចូលនិវត្តន៍គឹបនៅសល់80,000នេះដែរដល់គ្នាចូល50,000ពេលដែលចូលនិវត្តន៍ប្រាក់50,000នៅសល់30,000
The Premier continued that for the past 2 years, the government has not increased the salary of civil servants due to the need to fight COVID-19. However, Prime Minister stated that should pay more attention to retirees. The Premier issued an order to the Minister of Economy to do this work and recommended that there is no need to adjust the national budget for these people, as this number is not too much, because we increased the pension to who all retired with the best salary of 500,000 riel that have to increase from 20 to 30%, for example. Sripokong, EAC News.
The Chamchai flyover and tunnel, which intersects with Russian Federation Road with National Road 3 and 4, is a project of the Royal Government of Cambodia through the Phnom Penh Capital Administration and has been contracted by the Overseas Cambodian Investment Company. It was officially inaugurated this morning, 31st of March 2022, under the presidency of the Prime Minister Hun Sen. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more details.
The flyover and tunnel project was opened under the presidency of the Prime Minister Hun Sen on the 29th of June 2020, which took 30 months to build and cost about $22 million. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony this morning, Phnom Penh Governor Kong Sreng said that the construction of the flyover and tunnel has solved traffic congestions effectively and made the area more potential for development, especially for trade, industry and construction development in Phnom Penh.
For the benefit of the Chamchai flyover and the tunnel of conjunction with the National Road Number 3, National Road Number 4, Chamchai Road and the Boulevard of Russia Federation, it has made significant contribution to resolving traffic congestion effectively. Previously, commuters passed through the Chamchai intersection have a long period of traffic congestion and gave the area the potential of comprehensive development.
Residents who attended the inauguration of the Cham Chau flyover and tunnel this morning expressed their happiness. They said that before the flyover and subway were put into operation, they had a hard time because of the traffic jams, long waits and slow delivery of goods. However, after the launch, they have solved many of these difficult problems.
Previously, there was no flyover. It was seen that it caused traffic congestion on that road. It took a long time to enter Phnom Penh. Now it is easy and convenient to travel and ride fast and easy.
After this bridge, our road is less congested. It's multi-level flyover. It's easy to go to the airport. It's easy from Canada Bank. It eases traffic congestion and accidents are less likely to carry goods.
The Cham Chau flyover and tunnel were divided into three sections. The main flyover connects traffic from the National 3 Road to the Boulevard of the Russian Federation. The bridge splits the Veng Sreng Road and turn left curved bridge connects the Veng Sreng Road to National Road 3. In addition, the project also builds a road and a tunnel, a curved road connecting traffic from Veng Sreng Road to the National Road 4. The flyover and tunnel have a lifespan up to 100 years. Speaking at official inauguration this morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that the construction of the flyover and the tunnel would start from the needs of Cambodia through the development of the country. He added that the construction seeing the congestion would increase, so the construction of the flyovers and tunnels is very necessary.
ប្រសិនបើស្ថានភាពដោយកាលពីក្នុងទសវត្សរ៍ 70 ទសវត្សរ៍ 80 ឬទសវត្សរ៍ 90 វាគ្មានការចាំបាច់ណាមួយដើម្បីទៅធ្វើស្ពានអាកាស ស្ពានក្រោមដី ផ្លូវក្រោមដី និងផ្លូវលើដី នៅកន្លែងនេះនោះទេ នេះវាផ្ដើមចេញពីតម្រូវការ បើសិនពុំមានតម្រូវការ ការកើនឡើងនៃចំនួនប្រជាជន ការជាពិសេសការកើនឡើងនៅគ្រឿងយន្ត គឺរថយន្ត ម៉ូតូ មកចូលវាយធ្វើដំណើររបស់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋ បានជាមានតម្រូវការបែបនេះ
The Cham Chau flyover and tunnel is the fifth project in Phnom Penh Capital Hall after Kabal Tunnel flyover, 7 Malacca flyover, 5 Makara flyover, and Stang Machay flyover, while the sixth project is under construction in the Resikiel district. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Cambodia has reported 14 new COVID-19 cases. There are no new imported cases. There have been 108 patient recoveries and no new deaths. The kingdom has now recorded 15,184 cases of Omicron, 1,351 imported, and 13,833 community cases. Cambodia's COVID-19 case tally has now climbed to 135,638. The death toll stands at 3,054. The number of patients treated successfully since the pandemic reached Cambodia is 131,706, and the tally for imported cases is at 21,208. Healthcare workers are currently treating a total of 789 patients. Now for a look at news making international headlines this Thursday, 31st of March.
Fields, homes, well, and even tombs were gradually being buried under shifting sand dunes in this windswept stretch of Madagascar's southern coastline until the local community fought back, aimed only with plants and elbow grease. According to the community, this dune plays a negative role when it comes to the protection of cultural spaces. First of all, the tombs. Some tombs were buried in the sand. The community is very attached to their custom, especially the places where they put ancestors to rest. So it's really very important for the community. They also spoke of the dunes burying agricultural field, said Theodore Bynasums, the World Food Program WFP chief in the region. After years of painstaking planting by hundreds of local volunteers, 36 hectares of dune have been stabilized by long lines of plants that trap moisture in the ground and stop the relentless wind from blowing all the sand further inland. The buildup of sand dunes started becoming a problem in the area roughly a decade ago due to the drought and an increasing in strong winds, partly linked to the El Niño climate pattern, and climate scientists warn things will only get worse. Madagascar, an island with a population of 30 million and great natural variability in these weather patterns, faces increased aridity and more frequent drought and extreme weather even in the future, according to the UN expert climate panel.
Dozens of Peruvian domestic workers protested on Wednesday in a downtown Lima to demand respect for their labour rights and denounce the absence of discriminations they face, which they say have worsened during the pandemic. Domestic workers do cleaning, laundry, cooking, watching the kids or more around the house. There are two types of domestic workers, those who live in your house and those who only come to work and then leave. A very low percentage of total domestic workers are registered with contracts. Rest time, vacations and public holidays are also harder to implement, especially when the workers live in the house. During the coronavirus pandemic, people were asked to stay at home and help curb the spread. Unfortunately, this transfers the burden of domestic workers even more.
COVID-19 patients in Shanghai were being treated in a makeshift hospital that was converted from an exhibition center, according to state television CCTV on Wednesday, March 30th. The Chinese financial hub, home to 26 million people, is in its third day of a lockdown that authorities are imposing by dividing the city roughly along the Huangpu River, splitting the historic center from the eastern financial and industrial district of Pudong to allow for staggered testing. While residents in the east have been locked down since Monday, March 26, those in the west were officially scheduled to start their 4-day lockdown on Friday, April 1st. The city reported a record of 5,656 asymptomatic COVID-19 cases and 326 symptomatic cases on Tuesday, March 29th, up from 4,381 new asymptomatic cases and 96 new cases with symptoms on the prior day. Fans outside the Wilbur Theater in Boston, Massachusetts were full of anticipation on Wednesday, 30th of March for comedian Chris Rock's first stand-up performance following the Oscars, where Rock was slapped on stage by actor Will Smith. Best Actor winner Smith smacked Rock in the face while he was presenting and shouted vulgarity at a comedian for making a joke about his wife's hairstyle in a shocking moment overshadowing the Oscar ceremony on Sunday, March 27th. Rock's Wednesday show is in front of a sold-out crowd, with tickets going for well over $400 following the Oscar scandal.
She had an extra ticket and she invited me, and we are going.
I love Chris Rock and I love Whiskey.
And
I love it. I've seen him twice. I've seen him twice in Philly.
And we're going to check out what he has to say about that slap on the face and see what happened.
I think he's going to take the high road, and he's really intelligent, and he's going to I'm bummed out that Will wasn't escorted out, and I think he should say something about that.
I don't even care. If he talks about it, I don't even care. I just want to see Chris Rock. This is one of my favorite comedians of all time. I do stand up, and it makes me this dude is inspiration for me. So I definitely want to see him live at least once,
Will Smith was wrong. No room for violence, no matter what his wife is going through. We can understand that, but wrong is wrong.
I'm just really curious to see how Chris is going to handle himself tonight. Is he going to do a lot of jokes about it? Is he going to just talk about it at the beginning and then go right into his other spiel. And I think the interesting thing is that this is called Death of the Ego. And one of the most interesting things is how he was so present when he did that event, when he got slapped in front of live television, that who would be that present after he gets smacked that way? So I'm just interested to see how he takes on it, whether he's going to make a funny take on it or if he's going to do it a little bit more deeper and go, talk about the ego and the issues. It does feel great to be in the present moment and just being part of the reaction, part of the story, or just at least witnessing the story. Let's just put it that way.
Peace talks between Ukraine and Russia are continuing, but for the moment, they are just words, nothing concrete. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a televised address late on Wednesday, 30th March.
Russia's invasion of its neighbour, now in its fifth week, has driven around 4 million of the Ukrainians from their homes and brought Western and Russian tensions to their worst point since the Cold War. At peace talks this week in Istanbul, Russia said it would curtain operations near Kyiv and the northern city of Kharkiv to build trust. But Ukraine and its Western allies, including the United States, dismissed Russia's pledge as a ploy to stem its losses and prepare for other attacks. Russia says its forces are regrouping to focus on liberating the breakaway eastern Donbas region. Zelensky referred to Russian troop movements away from Kyiv and Chernihiv and said that they are not withdrawn but rather the consequence of our defenders' work. He added that Ukraine is seeing a build-up of Russian forces from new strikes on the Donbas and we are preparing for that. Moscow has cultivated close ties with pro-Russian separatists controlling swaths of the Donbas region, which encompasses two self-proclaimed people republics that Russia is helping from free Ukraine control. Zelensky, who also spoke of his call with the US President Joe Biden on Wednesday, where they discussed additional US aid, sanctions and Kyiv's peace talks with Russia. The United States intends to give Ukraine $500 million in direct budgetary aid.
Germany has activated the first stage of an emergency plan to manage gas supplies in Europe's largest economy in preparation for a possible disruption or halt in natural gas supplies from Russia.
Russia accounted for 55% of Germany gas import in 2021 and 40% in the first quarter of 2022. Economy Minister Robert Habeck has said Germany will not achieve full independence from Russian supplies before mid-2024. Moscow said last week it would draw up a mechanism by March 31st under which so-called unfriendly countries, those behind sanctions imposed over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, would pay for gas rubles. That include Germany, Europe's industrial powerhouse, and other European allies. Most now pay in euros or dollars. Habeck, who is the minister responsible for Germany's energy security, has rejected Russia's demand, saying contract would be honored under current terms. Russia's biggest German customers are Uniper, RWE, and ENBWS, Eberge, which all have long-term gas supply contracts. They have not commented on individual preparation for any disruption. Berlin's emergency plan gas has 3 crisis levels. The first level, which the government has triggered, is the early warning when there are signs a supply emergency could develop. The second is alarm when a disruption to supply or extraordinary high demand upsets the usual balance but can still be corrected without intervention. The third level is emergency, when market-based measures have failed to remedy shortage. At this stage, Germany's network regulator, the Bundesnetzagentur, must decide how to distribute any remaining gas supplies across the country. If Germany does not secure enough gas, industry, which account for a quarter of German gas demand, will be hit first. Private households will have priority over industry, while hospital care facility and other public sector institutions with special need would be last to be affected by a disruption. Apart from energy provider, the industry most worried about losing gas include chemicals, where gas is used for making everything from plastic and fertilizer to 5 brand solvents. In turn, car makers depend on chemical products for products such as battery and lacquer. Refineries need gas to run cracker to make products including naphtha, gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel and heating oil.
After the break, a look at all the latest sports news.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favourite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Australians remembered late cricket icon Shane Warne in a televised memorial service at his home stadium, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, on Wednesday 30th of March, with nearly 50,000 people attending.
The memorial started with those gathered calling out, "Warnie, Warnie," as cricketer Don Bradman's granddaughter and soprano great Bradman sung the Australian national anthem. Warnie's father and children made it heartfelt tributes, as other cricketing legends remembered Warne as a genius, entertainer and king.
His generosity and loyalty, which knew no bounds, and the joy he brought to so many people along the way that will forever bring us comfort. In Shane's typical humble manner, Shane, the Aussie boy from Black Rock, said of himself, "I smoked, I drank, and I played a little cricket." Mate, your mother and I cannot imagine a life without you. You've been taken too soon and our hearts are broken. Thank you for all you did for us and for being such a loving and caring son. Rest in peace, mate. Love you, Mum and Dad.
Genius. I'd say genuine.
Bogan. Dead set Bogan.
Dead set Bogan. That's 2 or 3 words, but I like it.
Well, he nicked genius. I'll go entertainer. He entertained us.
Definitely say the king.
The bonds created through sport last a lifetime. The bond of brothers lasts a lifetime. I'm very fortunate to have shared both of these bonds with him. Whilst we'll all have to learn to live without Shane in our lives, he'll leave a massive hole in mine that will never be filled. I'll always love him and always miss my big brother. Rest in peace, mate.
I never thought one's voice could bring such comfort until I can no longer hear it. I've had to come to terms with the fact that you won't be able to walk down the aisle on my special day and be by my side. You're not going to meet your grandchildren you are going to have one day, but instead you're going to be someone that I tell my kids to about, and how much of an amazing father you were to me and will always be in my heart. How good of a grandpa you would have made, and how they would have loved and adored you just like I do. You lived 100 lives, Dad. You never took anything for granted, and you made sure that you lived every day to the absolute fullest.
Although I didn't go down the cricket path, you didn't mind. You just wanted the best for me. You taught me manners are free and to always say please and thank you.
Dad was our shining star in life, and now he's shining down on all of us. We will do you so proud, Dad, and we are so proud of everything you have achieved. We are going to do what you always told us, try our best, and we will try our best to live in a world without you.
Have achieved, we are going to do what we always told us, try our best, and we will try our best to live in a world without you. Many were seated in the Southern Grandstand, which was renamed as the Shane Warne Stand, unveiled by his 3 children in the wake of his death at age 52.
Daniil Medvedev is 1 win away from retaking the world's #1 spot after moving past American Jensen Brooksby 7-5, 6-1 and into the Miami Open quarterfinals on Tuesday, 29th of March.
The US Open champion lost his serve in the first game but found momentum after fending off 2 more breakpoints in the fifth, winning the final 4 games of the first set in which he fired down 6 aces. The Russian ripped through the second set in less than half an hour, dropping 1 first serve point. The intensity will surely be high in his Master 1000 quarterfinal. If the Russian can beat his next opponent, Poland's Hubert Hurkacz will replace Novak Djokovic at the top of the rankings. Meanwhile, Australian wildcard Nick Kyrgios lost to Italian Jannik Sinner 7-6-3, 6-3 after a dispute with the chair umpire. Kyrgios received a point penalty for bad behavior in the first set tie-break and in between sets angrily and repeatedly asked the chair umpire what is unsportsmanlike before walking to his bench and whacking his racket against the court. The gesture earned him a game penalty, allowing Sinner to open a second set up a break. Sinner next faces Argentina Francisco Cerundolo.
Fans arrived ahead of the Women's Champions League quarter-final clash between Barcelona and Real Madrid at the Camp Nou on Wednesday, 30th of March, which is on track to set an attendance record for a women's match. With all 99,354 tickets sold out, the match is set to eclipse the record of 60,739 fans for a women's club's game set in 2019 at Atlético Madrid's Metropolitano Stadium, where the hosts beat Barca 2-0 in a league match. But Wednesday's match could also beat the overall attendance record for a women's game set at the 1999 World Cup final between the United States and China, when 90,195 fans were in attendance at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. To get 91,000 is an aggressive objective, but we accepted the challenge and we want to break the record, club president Joan Laporta told Barcelona-based radio RAC1. Barca captain Alexia Putellas told a news conference on Tuesday, March 29th, that the match may mark the beginning of a new era. Barcelona, who won the first leg of the quarter-final 3-1, normally play at the more modest Johan Cruyff Stadium at the club's training facilities. They have the best attendance in the league with an average of 2,938 fans per game. Now let's have a look at the weather and what you can expect tomorrow. And finally, with neon lights running along the wall, pulsating electronic beats, and a glowing red shuttlecock bouncing back and forth, one could have easily mistaken this sports venue for the set of a sci-fi film. Shuttle in the Dark, located at a fitness center inside the iconic Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur, offers players a chance to play badminton in a futuristic space-like environment with a court that glows in the dark with accompanying luminescent equipment like rackets, clothes, and shuttlecocks. Yan Mei, a professional badminton player, finds the new setting exciting and requires more focus.
The lightning, somehow we are still able to hit it, and then it requires better focus, and it's exciting. Yeah, it's different, but it's still playing like normal.
Shuttle in the Dark was initially set up in December 2021 and was the brainchild of a sports management company, which was trying to encourage more people to take up the sport after 2 years of social restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our initial goal was, how can we encourage and gain back the interest of people to come back and play. And not only those enthusiasts, but then as well the new people who was not able to or never play badminton before.
Badminton is one of Malaysia's most popular sports, with a thriving community in a Southeast Asian country which has produced some of the world's top-ranked players. Open to athletes of all levels of the game, Shuttle in the Dark charges 180 ringgit or $42.63 per hour to play and rent their neon equipment. Some believe the fees may be too high for the average Malaysian, as the regular courts in Malaysia usually charge about 20 ringgit for access. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, check our website eacnews.asia or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. See you then!